From the Civic Media News Desk for Joanne Krulotz, I'm Phil Nee, and here's what you need to know. First of all, a reminder in the township of Ithaca, Dog Hollow Road will be closed today for culvert replacement. That work should be completed by late this afternoon. A single vehicle crash occurred on Sunday morning at approximately midnight in rural Elroy in the town of Hillsborough. Vernon County Sheriff Roy Torgerson reports a 17-year-old male was operating a pickup truck traveling northwest on County Road WW, northwest of State Highway 33, when the operator lost control while negotiating a curve to the left. The vehicle went off the right side of the roadway, struck an embankment, overturned several times, and came to rest in a field. Seatbelts did not appear to be in use, and a 16-year-old passenger was ejected from the vehicle. The operator was either ejected or exited the vehicle on his own. Both were seriously injured and transported to Gunderson St. Joseph's Hospital in Hillsborough by Hillsborough Area Ambulance. The operator was later flown to the University of Wisconsin in Madison by UW Health Med Flight. At approximately 1 a.m., the 16-year-old passenger was pronounced dead at Gunderson St. Joseph's by Vernon County Coroner Betty Nye. Although the investigation is ongoing, speed, alcohol, and vehicle equipment all appear to be contributing factors. There is no further information at this time. The incident remains under investigation by the Vernon County Sheriff's Office and the Vernon County Coroner's Office. Some eggs sold in Wisconsin are making people sick. The Department of Health Services says those eggs sold under the label Milo's Poultry Farms or Tony's Fresh Market are contaminated with salmonella. The bad eggs were sold in 9 different states. 42 people have been sickened in Wisconsin. If you have any eggs with those labels on them, throw them out immediately. Charges are filed against the man accused in the fatal shooting death of UW-Whitewater student Kara Welsh. 23-year-old Chad Richards of Loves Park, Illinois, made his initial appearance on Friday. He's charged with first-degree intentional homicide and is being held in the Walworth County Jail on a $1 million cash bond. Whitewater police say the 21-year-old Welsh was shot multiple times the night of August 30th. Police responded to an apartment on a call from Richards and found Welsh lying in a pool of blood with no pulse. Richards said he and Welsh argued and that he took a handgun from Welsh and shot her because he feared for his life. Venture Architects' findings of their evaluations of the Richland campus included looking at each building separately. We already looked at 3 of those buildings, the Arts and Education building, the library, and the building which hosts the Wallace Student Center and Coppertop Theater. When examining the science building on campus, which was renovated, they found materials in the original structure were partially upgraded. Kyle Knopf is the Venture Architects spokesperson.
It was renovated in 2001. It was an addition to the east. It added there were some new materials. There was a lot of AV upgrades into that building, but the biggest part of that were 3 classrooms with all new labs, fume hoods. It was a very significant, and all new mechanical equipment was part of that as well. So with that, part of the west side of that building is still materially the same materials that were there from the original 1966 building. So there was maybe, we'll say half of that building was actually upgraded with that. The original bathrooms that are in there, those were not upgraded for any accessibility needs. So those still had some handicap accessibility clearance issues with that, but there was one bathroom that was added that actually took care of the accessibility part of that. A lot of the windows that are part of that weren't part of the addition, those are still the original windows. The original windows that were put into those buildings are single pane sliding glass windows. They're not thermally efficient. They're not thermally broken in any kind of winter condition. If you were inside the building, you'd touch it, it would be frosted up. So the original part of that building has the original windows to the slider windows.
Mechanical equipment as a part of renovation is nearing end of life. The exterior brick is in need of tuck pointing, and future building uses are constrained by the addition and renovation work.
Any future use for that building is really constrained by the lab portion of that building. So if there was a need for another lab, classroom type use, that's perfect. Anything else, it would require a pretty significant renovation of that space. So you're just dealing with the 1966 shell of the building, 1966 structure.
The cost of renewal for the Science Building is estimated at nearly $441,000. The replacement cost is an estimated $9.2 million. The addition of Melville Hall is still functional. However, there are some accessibility problems for the restrooms. Kyle Knuth added that the office spaces are too small to be used for that purpose today. Any sort of reuse would require significant floor plan modifications.
Any kind of offices work in the original part of Melville Hall, it would require really almost gutting out that entire donut of walls and trying to reconfigure that to probably a single corridor with offices on one side. The other part with that that's kind of odd was the courtyard that's in the middle. At the time, the design probably fantastic. It's now become a bit of a liability for the building, just because there's a lot of weather getting into that space, and there isn't a lot of accessibility for maintenance people to get into that space to fix those things. I think any kind of major renovation in that space, that central piece, that central courtyard would have to be addressed as part of that design.
The renewal cost for Melville Hall is an estimated $739,000, with a replacement cost estimate of $7.95 million. Tomorrow, Kyle Knuth will share with us the condition of the gymnasium building. 3 individuals were arrested during a traffic stop early Friday morning. At approximately 1:39, the Iowa County Sheriff's deputies conducted the stop on U.S. Highway 14 in the township of Arena. Arrested were Michael B. Perkins, 46, of Muscadet, Kenneth S. Holden, 32, of Richland Center, and Michelle L. Olson, 45, of Muscadet. Perkins was arrested on charges of manufacturing and delivering cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia to manufacture, compound, convert, produce, or store methamphetamine, bail jumping, ID tampering, fail to install, and court order violation. Holden was arrested on charges of manufacturing and delivering a methamphetamine, along with possession of THS, bail jumping, resisting or obstructing an officer, probation violation, arrest warrant, and bail jumping. Olson was arrested on charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, manufacturing and delivering cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia to manufacture the methamphetamine, and presence of a child less than 14 years old. Michael Perkins and Kenneth Holden were both transported to the Iowa County Jail, where they remain at this time. Michelle Olson was also transported to Iowa County Jail, where she was later released. Friday morning at approximately 7:35, the Iowa County Sheriff's deputies conducted a traffic stop on U.S. Highway 14 near County Road K in the township of Arena. As a result of the stop, Quinn E. Juneau, 22, of Sun Prairie, was arrested on charges of operating without a valid license, second offense, possession of THC, and possession of cocaine. Juneau was transported to the Iowa County Jail, where she was later released. Also on Friday evening at approximately 8:28, the Iowa County Communications Center received a report of a disturbance on State Road 23 in the township of Mineral Point. As a result of the disturbance, Patrick C. Ford, 64, of Mineral Point, was arrested on the charge of domestic battery. Ford was transported to the Iowa County Jail, where he remains at this time. And there was a drug bust recently in the town of Belleville.
3 people were arrested and 411 marijuana plants were confiscated last week when Greene County Sheriff's deputies executed a search warrant in connection with a marijuana growing operation. The sheriff's office was tipped off to the outdoor growing operation at a rural home about 4 miles south of Belleville. Sean Maloney, Wisconsin Radio Network.
Former President Donald Trump posted a warning on his social media site threatening to jail those involved in unscrupulous behavior this election, which he said would be under intense scrutiny. Trump wrote late Saturday, "When I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences so that this depravity of justice does not happen again." He again sowed doubt about the integrity of the election, even though cheating is incredibly rare. Trump's post comes just days before his first and likely only debate against Vice President Kamala Harris, which is coming up tomorrow night. Vice President Kamala Harris plans a 4-day campaign trip through major swing states after the Democrats' debate with Republican Donald Trump. Her New Way Forward tour will include a new television spot, rallies, canvassing events, and programs designed to target important voting groups. The period after Tuesday's debate in Philadelphia marks the start of the aggressive sprint toward the end of what has been a dramatic race. Harris kicks off her tour Thursday in North Carolina, and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will be in Michigan. On Friday, Harris will return to Pennsylvania, while Walz is in Michigan and Wisconsin. More details on their appearances will be forthcoming. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources encourages the public to report when and where they see frogs, salamanders, lizards, or snakes, known collectively as reptiles, and crossing the road during the late summer and early fall. As the end of summer approaches and brings cooler temperatures, they will soon begin crossing roads as they migrate from breeding and summer foraging locations to hibernation areas. Snakes and lizards, in particular, may see a stretch of gravel or pavement as an opportunity to gain warmth on the heated pavement. By reporting sightings of these reptiles and amphibians on and around Wisconsin's roads, drivers can help researchers better understand where their populations occur and save more of them in the future. Drivers and trail users can submit a report of their sightings of live crossings or also road mortalities, preferably with a photo, via the DNR's Reptile and Amphibian Mortality Reporting Form. Turtle crossings can be reported using the DNR's Turtle Reporting Form. Learn more about this of Wisconsin reptiles and amphibians on the DNR's Reptile and Amphibian webpage. UW-Madison police say of the 47 ejections during the game at Camp Randall on Saturday, 37 were UW students, as were all 18 arrested. Police also issued 19 tickets to UW students. Those ticketed and ejected included 18 for underage drinking and 1 for false identification. 16 of the ejections were for tobacco use, 4 for possession of unauthorized alcohol, and 2 for intoxication. 5 people contacted by police had a blood alcohol content of 0.20% or higher, with 3 people who were taken to detox.